Welcome back to The Perspective. Chappy Hakim, Persons of the Year for Globe Asia and one of the CEOs to watch in 2017. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about a different life of Chappy Hakim after post-Air Force. We understand you are a huge music fan, if we can call it, or you're a musician of your own league.
With my inner circle, maybe.
Yeah. You're musician of your own league. But when did it all start? Your affection towards
music, you mean?
Music, yeah.
Yeah. When I was a little boy in my home, my father had guitar and ukulele.
Ukulele.
My father always play guitar almost every day, and only one song he can sing with the guitar. You know?
Really?
Yeah. And the song is Indonesia Raya.
Oh.
That's the only and one. It's one and only.
I think that's the only song that matters at the time.
Yeah. And from that very beginning, so that I try to follow my father to play guitar. And in the elementary school, at that time, we got the lecture about how to sing, be it how to read the notation.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting for me, so that I tried. And I also like to hear any kind of music. I'm be influenced by many kind of music, so that I try to play as well.
Which musicians do you think is your biggest influence?
Any kind of music.
So far.
Any kind, but especially the popular one, the pop music, and of course some of the classic as well, jazz and blues a little bit. Yeah.
And so you find solace in playing music. You find some kind of peace of mind that you don't find anywhere else that you do in music, and you're still very much active. Playing guitar and hanging out with your inner circle.
Yeah. In the whole of my time, if I got the spare time, I always try playing guitar or just try hard to play piano. I don't have the formal education with music. I just start.
I don't think anyone did.
I just start my way.
Yeah. Just go out and do.
That's right.
And be musical. And besides music, also we understand you write a lot. You're very passionate about writing, as you made it clear earlier in our talk show. And this is one of the ways that you express your ideas and share your ideas and your critics. And just for your information, ladies and gentlemen, 3 Muri records have been given to Chappy Hakim. One is as the first general to have your blog, your writings in the blog become a book.
Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration? Your everyday.
My father is a journalist, you know.
Correct.
So that when I was a little boy, I always follow what my father did during the day. Is make the type machine, the old one, the old one, and I like what my father did, and he writing more than 4 or 5 books in the whole life, and he said during your life at least you have to write 1 book. He said that, and I try to follow it. When I was Indonesian Air Force Chief of Staff, I give a special order to the whole of commander under my control.
Under yourself?
To write a book. If you don't write the book, I will place another.
So it's one of their KPI, key performance indicator, that they have to have a book.
Yeah.
How did this go? How did this policy go?
I got the Muri record because that year, 2003, if I don't mistaken, I got the Muri award for Air Force at that time have produced, publishing more than 100 books in a year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
we
a
have
record.
that.
That's a record.
Producing more than 100 titles in a year.
Yeah.
That's for the Air Force.
Yeah.
Indonesian Air Force.
You know why? Because Air Force, compared with the other services, have very small number of literature, a book or any kind of the literature. So that I try hard to all of my officers to do that. And fortunately, their response is very good. And now maybe Air Force have a lot of book in any aspect of in Air Force duty.
Yeah, produced by them, by the Corps, for the Corps, and not just for the Corps actually, but for the public to actually also have access to that ideas and thoughts. And you mentioned your father is one of the person or journalists responsible to set up the Antara Agency News in Indonesia.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
And you seem to run the blood of writing, curiosity, and critics seem to be running in you. And I understand you have a daughter who's also a journalist. Tasha Ludmila is also reading for Jakarta Globe. So your observation...
I push her as well to write a book.
She actually did produce a children's book.
Done once, yeah.
Yes, she did. So she reached that KPI. But what is your perspective of today's media? Indonesia enjoys, amongst its neighboring countries, Indonesia enjoys the freedom of expression, and journalism is highly regarded if we compare to, and it's become more, seemed to be more independent in Indonesia. But what is your perspective of today's media in trying not to just inform the public, but not to form opinion, but also to educate? Its responsibility as
the present media now with the social media, television, and mainstream as well, I think it's good for education. But one thing that I concern is the quality of the journalists. It's a kind of the education. We have to start in our journalists to have the certain level of education first, so that they can elaborate the news that really educate people. And that's not simple to do that, because I know since a long time ago, my father said as well, but the big challenge for the journalists is to get a certain level of education,
right,
even in the journalistic world. Now we have a lot of life aspect in the sport, in music, in the politics, many kind. In this time, there's no journalist can cover overall in general.
Right.
They have to be very specific.
Yeah.
That's why I think the education, a certain level of education of the journalists concerning their duty to make the news is very important.
It's very necessary to allow them to provide the base of critical thinking, and also just elaborating on the information that they need to share with the public. Not to mention, it's also now growing in Indonesia is the citizen journalism.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of young people. I'm amazed. I'm wondering that many young people can write good writing. Yeah, but they're lucky. They have a lot of opportunity to do this by social media.
There's a lot of platform for them to.
That's right.
Use.
And I think there's potential that we have how to manage the young generation who they're willing to write. Willing to write means they have to read it.
Yeah.
They have to read a lot of books or a lot of references, because in the technological era like this, many things, especially in aviation, I always said in aviation, if you going to the aviation, it means you going to the environment that technological, the very high tech. In a very high tech environment, you cannot do anything without references.
Right.
Yeah, so that many people, they buy a car, motor car, or television. They never read the manual. Yeah, that's the big. That's the big.
It's a big issue. That's a big problem.
That's a big problem. That's a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because you can operate any high technological product without references. You have to read the manual first before you operate that. Otherwise, you open the door before the accident will happen.
And you open the door for errors.
Yeah, for errors, and it might be, it should be, and it may be the accident is not for yourself but for the others. That's very important.
Chappy, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your other side of life. We actually look forward for you to see you perform in a different way and on stage, perhaps, with your guitar. In Globe Asia Persons of the Year, Chappy Hakim, CEOs to watch in 2017. Good luck with your future endeavor. I understand it will be a very, very busy year for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That has been the former Chief of Staff for Indonesia's Air Force, Chappy Hakim, talking to us, sharing with us his life post the Air Force and his current activities right here on The Perspective. I'm Florence Armein. Thank you for watching.